opening Nakisa Customer Support ticket. As you all know, you have access to the Nakisa platform, and there are a couple of things here. So you can have users that do have access to our customer portal, but as you know, for Jira Atlassian, for opening tickets, there are dedicated users that can do so. The reason is that we have the role of a functional administrator. So these are the users that can both help their front end users and have the ability to collect more information, do the first level troubleshooting, and open the ticket so we can come as fast as possible in your support. So, as you know, each organization has specific dedicated users that can log in, and I have the link here. I'm sure you all know it, and you will be redirected to the login page. And further, once you log in, you will be able to proceed with the details. So you will be seeing this little box here with the customer support. And once you are inside, you will have this page. This information is being displayed with a link to the office hour program, so you can access previous recording, previous materials from here as well. We also have a lot of materials, a lot of knowledge-based details that are available in this page. We are updating this information to make sure is relevant for your needs. But you do have details onto how to submit a request, the type of request. So you have details in there as well. So the purpose of today's meeting is really going through those tabs and being more like a refresher than anything else. So you have in here articles on different type of requests, the necessary details, what do they mean, and so on. So for opening a customer request in most of the pages, and we're going to see this in real life as well, you need to scroll down. So you will have this rather long rectangular box with need a request, contact us. So in most of the pages, as you navigate, you will see this, and as you click on it, you will get to selecting whether you are on cloud or still on premise. We still have a couple of clients that are on premise, so you can select what's relevant for you. Once you do that, we have the type of categories that you can choose, and I'm sure that most of you are familiar with them. But if you have any question, if you have any doubts, let us know. We're here to clarify your points, your feedback. So as you know, and in front of the first type of category that we have is the operational support issues, so the incidents, the problems that you're encountering in the production environment. There is a separate type of category for lower environments. So when other environments that production are affected, this is the type of category that you can submit. It's very important because sometimes if you don't use the right category, it takes longer for us to figure it out where the problem is. So I know it may take a couple of seconds more, but take the time to actually decide to which category the issue you want to raise belongs to. Then for other type of requests like cloud request, if you have any other issue related to restarting of the server connection and so on, our cloud team will be happy to help you through this. So once again, it's very important that you do choose the right category. In the upgrade, and this is still relevant for the version you guys are all in, As you know, you can request the upgrade, but also if ever you encounter something as you do your testing, you can select this. And again, very important to select the right category because we have different teams. So in terms of allocating resources, if you choose the right category, we'll be able to assist you um, further and faster. During the project, we have the ongoing project issue, but here you work closely with our professional team, so they will be able to help you on that. The single sign-on, we have a dedicated category as well, and we wrap it up the upgrade request, upgrade issue. We have it here. We wrap it up with general question, and you probably know in the general question there are less fields. It's a more broad, open type of request that you can make when you want to ask any question and so on. Similarly, if you raise a ticket via email by sending it to this channel to support at nakisa.atlassian.net, the type of category will be general question. So with general question, very important because it is a question. So this type of category doesn't allow us to access your environment. Is more of a conversation of a enablement type of request or simply a question. Do you have any questions so far? Any feedback on what I presented up to this moment? And I'm not sure I'm seeing everybody, but if ever my colleagues on the call will let me know. So let's proceed. So on oh, I'm jumping too fast. So once you decide on the category, and today we're going to concentrate on incidents, specifically production, but it is uh, a similar way for QA or other lower environment. So we're going to walk through what are the mandatory fields. And as you are used to, the mandatory fields are marked with the red asterisk. So those are the ones that if you don't fill them out, if fill them in, you won't be able to move on. And we'll go through the details as well. And I'm sure you all know that, but it's very important that you put the right details in there, that you use the relevant words for the summary, you choose your customer name, you select your solution, you provide the access, whether you want us to access your environment or not. This is as per our internal controls and SOC compliance, so very important that part. Description, attachment. So these are the fields. We're gonna walk through them in the next slide. It's very important that you take the time and you fill in the information. If we don't receive enough information, is harder to be able to respond in a timely manner to your request. And you know already we take back and forth, and finally we reach out to you to call you. So the idea, especially with new technology emerging, is to make sure that we have enough information so we can abstract from the text, from the details, so we can allocate the resources much faster. These fields are relevant for operation and incident request. For other type of requests, the fields are slightly different. And as I was saying, when we get into the general question, you will have less mandatory fields. But we are focusing on incidents on operational request for today's session. If you're interested into looking into other type of requests, we can do so in future session. Diving into the fields, the mandatory fields that we have for incident, the first one is the summary. Very important that you use the keywords, and I included here some suggestions about how the summary should be, whether you want to make a combination of the action and the issue, or the impact, or what's not working. We are linking from the keywords that you have in the summary. We have relevant articles, but also it allows us to redirect to the proper team, to the proper resources you need. So you don't have to think about too much. You already know whether it's an access problem, a failing transaction, an error type, and so on. But it's very important that this summary is concise and clear. As I was mentioning, we are reviewing all the processes, and we are including and making use of new technology. We base ourselves on things like keywords and relevant messages that we have in the ticket. So if you want to give us feedback, help us out in this process, please take a moment to think a bit how the summary can be clear and concise. Then the next one is the customer name and the solution. So in the customer name, you will know you can type it in. What we have in here, it's a very interesting um, type of solution behind the scene, because we know like you have users for many parts of the organization. So the name that you type in is linked to a label, so it's gonna get to the right information. So there are we have about 20-30 combination for each client based on a few letters, different combination of names that you have in there. Very important that you include the name all the time. In the general questions section, the customer name is not mandatory, but we're working into that. So we're also making some changes to make sure that we do receive the right information. Then below the customer name, we have the solution. So here it's a drop down. So as you know, we are adding more and more products to our platform. So you have them all in here. You can select them. As we have our user from Nakisa Lease Administration, we're going to continue focusing on that. But you see already we have all the other products, and we're adding more with every passing month. If you select Nakisa Lease Administration, you can move on to a field that it's not mandatory. It's the relevant problem. So we are also reviewing and brushing off this list, making sure that we have enough topics in there that they cover pretty much all the relevant problem. Again, this is a sort of keyword that we intend to use in the grouping, in the relevant search, and so on. So please take a little moment to see like where does your incident belong to. In our view, in our mind, we think that we have all the relevant problem, but we can only get better based on your feedback. So we have here the details about modification, termination, workflow, posting transaction, and so on. Again, like if you think that your type of incident is missing from the list, you can also type it in your ticket as you open it and say, hey, my incident belongs to this, how about we add it. So thank you in advance for doing so. We get to a very important section. It's related to our access to your environment. As you know, based on the commercial agreement, the support engineer have the right to access your environment, but we will only do so based on express approval from you. That is why we introduced this section in the ticket, where you can choose whether you want to give us access or no. You can see we have different radio button, whether you want to give us access to all environment, whether you want to restrict our access to lower environments like QA, and whether you do not want to give us access. And of course, if you choose no, it's very important that you understand that if ever we need to do some troubleshooting or access, we will require a call with you so we can see in which way we can support you further. We made a change in this section because by default it was no. What we observed that in many situations the tickets were open with no, which meant that we had to actively ask for the approval one more time. So it would lead in delay to our response time, to our actually starting to work on the problem. Of course, based on your internal procedure, if you require to have more than this approval that we have here, that you require a specific approval, you are free to click no, and we will follow up with you to get an active approval. So this is also part of our efforts to make sure that we're both compliant with our processes, but also expedite the request. Then understanding the priorities, or the next field is related to the priority, where you have the levels: critical, high, medium, and low. Of course, this is also based on the commercial agreement, but on the topic that you have, you need to set the priority and also the justification for it. So you in the knowledge base, you have some indication. I put some details in here for you to guide yourself. All this, of course, allows us to allocate the proper resources. So it's very important that you follow the guidelines. We get into the description part of the incident. So here is where I wanted to spend a bit more time, and we included some details that we think are relevant. Of course, as you know, we work with whatever information we try to get the information from you. But I included some key elements that are very important, and it will diminish the back and forth time, the asking further question, trying to understand where the problem is. So some of the key elements, and of course this is based on our experience, on the type of situation that we encounter so far. So try to explain the issue in detail, with as many details as possible. Include some steps to reproduce. It doesn't have to be very exhaustive, but say like, hey, I'm trying to post a transaction, I'm getting this error, this is what happens. Also mention the impact, which are the objects that are affected, contract activation groups, and so on, or the process that is affected. I cannot see something in the front end, the report is not getting extracted, or I'm seeing this error. If you're getting any error message, include the error message. And the error message can be in the front end, the error message can be found in the logs. That is why it's important that you take this first level troubleshooting with your functional administrator, especially if you are also a front user. So it's very important that you get all the information for us, and action already taken in the troubleshooting part. There is a section which is not mandatory, about the troubleshooting, to include in there, hey, I looked through the logs, I've seen this error. Many situations you'll encounter configuration to be checked, or to be modified, or to be updated, and so on. So these are all things that are at your fingertips already, and you can implement it. You also have fields for attachments. So this is where you can include print screens. You can have your Excel exports, or logs, or the reports. Very important that, and we've seen this recently, if you attach emails, we have a very hard time, because our firewall is flagging them as malicious, and we cannot open them, or we can open them with our own risk, and then the information that we get, it's not in the right format. So copy the information from the email and paste it in the ticket. Do not include email. This is very important. So this is not something that we can overcome right now. We're looking into how we can do it, but this is also part of our internal processes. So try not to include emails, copy the in details and put them in the ticket. Moving forward with the description, I have included here some suggestion, a formal suggestion about what we consider to be an effective issue description that will really get us on the right track to know where to start our investigation and how we can help you. So, of course, you explain, hey, I'm having issues with this report, or during the reconciliation, I've encountered this problem. And then continue with the steps to reproduce it. As I said, it doesn't have to be um, very exhaustive, but make sure that you specify, hey, I have problems in this feature at these steps as I'm doing the list modification. Include the specific action and also the unexpected behavior or outcome that you are observing. Very important afterwards, especially if you are challenging a result, a transaction, an amount, to tell us, hey, this is an unexpected behavior. The user was expecting this to happen. It doesn't happen. And do this comparison, if possible, of course. There's situation and situation, but it's very important that you pass through this judgment level as well. The error message, as I was saying before, the unpacked and troubleshooting stuff. Was there a question? I guess no. As Olaf was saying, maybe some of you are getting unmuted. All right. Any question on this topic? Any observation, feedback? And on the last step, once the requests have been submitted, here a few details about understanding the status of the request. So you have submitted. So once you just open the ticket and you pushed enter, you have the status submitted. Then the next step is that our level one support engineering are acknowledging your request. So you get that message: we received your request and we are working on it. This is the stage where they will look through the information submitted, if we have access to your environment. If not, they will get back to you. They will also do the first level of verifying, of reviewing the information, and ask you some more questions. Then you have the need info, where they come back to you asking for further information. As we start investigation, you will have the status investigated, and then we move to resolution plan once we have a solution, and we work with you for that. When we confirm the resolution, sometimes we have situation where we well, the ticket is withdrawn, and this can happen from your side as well. And once the incident is finalized, we have closed. In addition to that, we have certain situation where we may have the tickets on hold, especially as you are working with users, and with users in the front end, they're not available. So in order to make sure that the ticket doesn't get closed by the system, then we use the on hold status. Yes, we have rules in Jira, and especially if enough time passes, the ticket get closed. But you can message us. We can always reopen the incident should we need to. And with that, I'm going to pass a bit in the application itself to walk you through the field for operational requests. And again, like, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm gonna get out of the presentation and move to to the application. Now I do have, and because this is my internal view, I also have the Nakisa IT. But in your case, you will only see the customer support, and I'm going to make this a bit bigger so we can all see. So in here, we get to the page where you have the information, and you can access the office hour program. You can register. You can get to our front end page, and we have some knowledge based information in here. In all the pages, if you simply want to get to the request, you scroll down and you get to the need to raise request, contact us, and you click on it. Then you can get to the page where you simply choose the relevant selection, whether cloud or on-premise. And then you have the list of categories that I was mentioning earlier. So you have them all. And we're going to move on with operational support issue production. And we get into the details to be filled in. As I was saying, all the mandatory fields have a red asterisk. Now you can see that this ticket is open on behalf of me. Of course, for you, it will be your user, your particular ID as it was set up in Jira. So in the summary and below each field, there are a couple of knowledge-based articles that you can access to, or some guidance, some indication that you can reference. So you can start by typing in issue with posting accrual transaction, and you can see once I hit a keyword, I get certain relevant articles. So this is the reason I'm insisting, and we are making change on this. We need your help to make sure that we provide to you the rightful information. Then I'm moving on to the customer name, and here I am typing something like ABC or something like that. Of course, you will be writing your own name. Don't worry too much, as I was saying, and you're very used by now. But as you know, many of you have a longer name or something where you have corporation or. But if as long as you have at least a combination of the name, we do have many rules to get to the right label, and I'm sure you know that by now. In the solution field, you have a drop down where you can choose the application. As I was saying, where the more we're adding products, you're going to see them here. For you, the list administration is relevant. And once you select the Nakisa list administration, I really encourage you to pass a few more seconds and select the relevant problem in here. Or maybe once you put in the description, it will make more sense what the relevant description should be. In this case, I was saying, hey, I have some issues with the accrual posting. We have the general posting and reversal documents, and I can choose that. We also have batch postings in here. And as I was saying, if ever you feel like your incident, your issue is not in the list, let us know. We will be happy uh, to improve this list. The next field is not mandatory. It's related to the SOC 1, SOC 2, or SOCs. Of course, this will help us have a better understanding of the issue. It's a yes or no problem. So in this case, it's transaction related. The product release, this is the version you all know. You can go to the manager page and see the version in there. So it's a scroll down, or you can type in certain things, the year, or you can put some R2, R1 in there. You all know that part. The accessing of the environment, as I was saying, this is essential. It's important. Make sure that you give us the right access based, of course, also on your internal control processes. We have made changes in here. We have this red message, and as well you won't be able to move on before it was no by default. So once you give yes to all environments, we'll be able to follow up internally and get the access to troubleshoot. The priority, as I was mentioning, you need to set it up. You have some information that you can get in here about the way to choose the priority and also how to justify that priority. In the description, we walk through the suggested format and the information that is essential, whether it was working before or no. So again, it's a yes, no, not applicable field. Um, then if it was working in which release, but this is a non-mandatory field. And the troubleshooting information, if you already made some steps, you can either include it in the description or you can include it here. And we conclude with the attachments. You can put the attachments in here. Of course, you know already you can also paste them in the description, the print screen, even the files. And I reiterate my request to not include email attachments. And once you finalize all the details, you can click on send and you will have the ticket on submit status. And with that, my section has concluded. So I'm passing it now to Pratibha, unless we have any questions, or maybe you can take the time to review and ask your questions at the end.